Welcome in, and Eastern Michigan has 4 new recruits, and they are all 3-star guys. We're going to start with corner Ted Taylor. He's got decent speed, acceleration, and agility. Will hopefully be an upgrade over what we currently have. 2 seniors graduating. Middle linebacker Shane Ward, definitely a speed and acceleration coverage guy. Also a 3-star. And he should help. And then we have athlete Marlin Miller, 6'2", 195. Not sure what he profiles as because catching is bad, catching traffic is bad, route running's decent. Definitely doesn't look like a defensive guy, so I wonder if he slots in at tight end maybe, possibly running back. And then we've got a tackle, Richard Williams. Big 6'5", 319 pass blocking tackle will hopefully help out with preventing all of those sacks that Jared Tolbert has been taking. But anyway, now we have 6 recruits, all of them 3-stars, and we head to Schumann Stadium in Muncie, Indiana to take on the Ball State Cardinals. These 2 teams only have 3 wins between them, but they square off in MAC conference play. And Eastern Michigan is looking to go 3-0 after a brutal start. And we see the guys in their away whites. They've had a lot of home games in a row. Anthony Gillette is the senior wide receiver, definitely their most gifted athlete on the offense. He's a 76 overall. And we'll get to see him and the rest of the offense as Ball State kicks off. And that's Brian Carter on the return. And he is stuffed just shy of the 30. Tolbert under center. And he's going to hand to Adam Dowdell. And Adam Dowdell runs into some resistance. Picks up about 1 yard on the play. Tolbert again under center, and again we go to Dowdell. Again, Dowdell has nowhere to go. So on 2 plays, he's got 2 yards, and Tolbert will operate from the gun. He's got Jonathan McConnell just near the sticks, and it's going to be 4th and inches. Ball State thinks of getting off the field, but they don't know Keron Day. He's going to go for it on 4th down. Did that several times last week. Tolbert trying to draw them off sides, and he tries to sneak, and he is stoned on the sneak, and that's a turnover on downs. Ball State in good field position. Here's the option, and Kevin Fry's your quarterback. Options right and gets tackled by Jason Williams. Fry with a quick drop, and that pass is broken up by Jason Williams. So 2 plays, Jason Williams in on both of them. This time, Kevin Fry has lots of time. He's going to go to the end zone, and that one is batted down by Calvin McIntosh. And they'll have to punt. So both offenses get 4 plays, and we head to the second possession for the Eastern Michigan Eagles. Tolbert with a quick pass out left to Jonathan McConnell, and he is dropped for a 2-yard loss. Unable to beat the corner there. Play fake to Dowdell. Tolbert going for Thomas McNeil, who stretches out for it but can't catch up to it. And that's going to make it 3rd and 12. Tolbert from the shotgun. Pressure coming right up the middle. And he is hit as he released it. And Stephen Higgins is going to make an appearance to punt. He did not do that last week. Daniel Finley on the return, and he is tackled by Brian Witherspoon. Now Ball State gets their next possession. This one is going to go to the running back, Rory Lee, and he's tackled by Jeremy Heath. Lee with it again. He hurdles a man and is submarined by Jeremy Heath. 1st and 10. We have a player in motion. Here's a fake. And McIntosh, it's thrown right to him, but he drops the interception. So he's got 2 passes defensed, You could argue that both of them could have been picked off. 2nd and 10, and Blake Clark takes the runner down. 3rd and 8. And here's a dump off to Rory Lee, and he's tackled by Roger Dennis. And again, both offenses struggling to make a first down. I don't think that there has been one yet. They're going to try a long 54-yard field goal, and that is wide left, no good. So each team's had 2 possessions, and it's been a comedy of errors for these offenses. Eastern Michigan, they'll have it a 3rd time, and Dowdell gets some room up the middle, but there's a flag on the play. And that's going to be a hold on Blair Guidry, the tight end, not even involved in where the run went to. Now it's going to be 1st and 19. Dowdell gets it again. He's got a little running room and gets 6 of those yards back. And now it's 2nd and 13. And Tolbert back to pass. He's got Jonathan Slater, and there's a first down, folks. I guess Ball State did get a first down on their last possession, but they are hard to come by today so far. 1st and 10, Tolbert rolling. He's got a man deep, and it's intercepted. He was going for the athlete, Anthony Gillette, the big senior, who had a step, but Kyle Hill is able to leap for it and take it down for the interception. So that is 2 games in a row that Jared Tolbert has thrown a pick. Here we see a great step by the wide receiver, and Tolbert just can't get it over the top. And Ball State will have it again. Under pressure, and that ball's batted by Russ Reed, the defensive tackle. 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, Kevin Fry with lots of time, and he's got a wide open man tackled by Washington. That went to Lamont Hill. 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Rory Lee, and there's Bernard Washington, a 2nd play in a row with the stop. 2nd and 10. Bennett in motion, and pass rush doesn't exist. He goes long. David Griffith is beat, but he's too long for Ray Johnson. So David Griffith celebrating the fact that the quarterback had a bad pass. All right, we're going into the 2nd quarter. Ball State with the ball. Kevin Fry hits Lamont Hill, but David Griffith is up there for the tackle, stops him short, and it's 4th and 1, and they will punt it. Brandon Smith is the punter. He's also the kicker, so he's doing double duty as he boots this one into the end zone. Looks like he got knocked down on the play, but no call. Eastern Michigan trying to get something going on offense. Here's Dowdell. Doesn't have much room to work with. The story of his season. And that'll make it 2nd and 8. Clemens in motion. Fake to Dowdell. And here's Blair Guidry with a big play, and he's open. Shoved out of bounds after a first down. 1st and 10. Tolbert drops. Pressure comes. He throws into a crowd, and that's almost his 2nd interception of the game. That's Finley on the bat down. 2nd and 10. We've got a throw to Guidry, a dangerous throw, but he's able to pull it in for 3 yards. Anthony Gillette on the screen, and he's loose. He's got a lot of running room, and he goes all the way inside the 20. Anthony Gillette with a nice run after catch. And here we see Kyle Hill almost bat that, just misses. And Anthony Gillette follows his blockers for a huge gain. Eastern Michigan is now in business. 1st and 10. In the red zone, and Dowdell gets it and stretches it to the right. Picks up about 4 on that play. 2nd and 6. Dowdell following his blocks up the middle. He's rolled into the end zone. They're going to call him down at the goal line. And Keron Day is trying to challenge, but he cannot get the attention of the officials. So they are not able to challenge, even though he looked like he rolled on top of the defender and into the end zone. But it doesn't matter because Adam Dowdell rushes it in that final half inch, and he's got a touchdown. Eastern Michigan Eagles up 7-0 pending the extra point. And finally, after struggling with their first few possessions, Eastern Michigan puts it together for an 8-play, 79-yard drive. A big part of that was big gains to Anthony Gillette and Blair Guidry. Here's the kick return, and Kyle Rogers is there to tackle Vince Hines. And Ball State will have the ball now. 1st and 10, Kevin Fry operating from the gun. He's got lots of time, but the coverage holds up. He's going to try to run, and Dominique Huffman sacks him. So we can call that a coverage sack. Here he is, can't find anyone. The other defensive tackle, Dominique Huffman, he's able to track him down before he gets anywhere. Now 2nd and 12. Operating from the shotgun once again, Norton in motion. Handoff goes to Rory Lee, and Grant Lumpkin is there to bring him down. Doesn't get too far. So 3rd and 10. And we've got a false start.
One start on the offense.
That's going to go against right guard Adam Stevens. And let's call it 3rd and 15. On 3rd and 15, Kevin Fry passes. He's got Ray Johnson, but tackled short by Jason Williams. Eastern Michigan calls a timeout, and they'll receive the punt. And Brian Carter muffs it again. That's 2 games in a row. And here we see just lack of concentration, no other excuse. Fortunately, he's able to pick it up again. So now Eastern Michigan has 1:08 to see if they can get into scoring range. Tolbert passes it to an open Jonathan Slater, who beats Ray Finley. Finley with the tackle. 1st and 10. Tolbert. He's got Jonathan Slater again. And it looks like Kyle Rogers comes in. Slater's injured on the play. Eastern Michigan on the move, and here's a pass to Blair Guidry, and they're going to call timeout. Looks like it's just a bruised ankle for Jonathan Slater. He should return to the game. Tolbert with the fake, and that one is nearly picked as he was heading to the end zone for McNeil. So it'll be 2nd and goal, and Adam Dowdell has nowhere to go. He's met in the backfield by Sam Matthews. That'll make it 3rd and goal, 24 seconds and a clicking clock, or a ticking clock rather. And that one is batted down. So on 4th and goal, they're going to settle for a short field goal. Kyle Allen puts it through. And it's a 10-0 ball game with 16 seconds left in the half. Now, we know from recent history this is dangerous for the Eastern Michigan defense, as offenses will test that secondary and usually win. So big challenge for Keron Day's boys. Can they stop them and hold them out of the end zone with 12 seconds left? Out of the shotgun, Kevin Fry's going deep. He's got a man. And it looks like he dropped it. Vince Hines dropped it, and Brian Carter was beat. And just as we feared, that almost was a touchdown. He's going to huck it up again, this time into a crowd. And Calvin McIntosh gets an inconsequential interception. He'll pad the stat sheet a little bit as we head to halftime. A low-scoring game. Both offenses struggling as Eastern Michigan carries a 10-0 lead into the second half. Daniel Finley on the return, and he's going to be met by Matt Cox for the special teams tackle. And Ball State trying to get back into this game. Clark in motion. And Clark gets it. That's Marcus Clark with the 3-yard pass from Kevin Fry. 2nd and 7. Marcus Clark lines up in the backfield. As Fry is under center, toss goes to Rory Lee, and the blocking is set up. He gets around one man, and there is no one home, no defender on that side of the field. And Rory Lee is going to rumble 66 yards for a touchdown. And here we see just complete failure of the defense. Just in alignment. No one's lined up over there. They just need a couple of blocks, and Rory Lee is gone. So it didn't happen at the end of the first half like it usually does, but a big play to start the third quarter. And with just 28 seconds off the clock, Ball State has pulled to within 3. Brian Carter will field this one at about the 7. And he's got a little bit of blocking, finds a little room, and makes it up to about the 39-yard line. One of his better returns of the year. He actually was tackled by the kicker on that play. And here's a fake to Dowdell, and we're going long. And we've got Anthony Gillette. He breaks the tackle. Touchdown, Eastern Michigan. So the 66-yard touchdown from Ball State is immediately answered with a 62-yard bomb to Anthony Gillette. Beats Daniel Finley, it looks like, and breaks the tackle. Touchdown. So he had that man beat earlier, or he had the safety beat earlier, and Tolbert couldn't get over the top. This time Tolbert does manage to drop it in. That was a nice pass. And Eastern Michigan goes up 17-7. All right, Ball State is going to return now, and second half has been a scoring frenzy so far after a subdued first half. Fry back to pass, and that's a wide open Juan Bennett, and he's tackled by McIntosh. So it'll be another 1st and 10. Kevin Fry has Bennett in motion. Back to pass. And he's got Lamont Hall down the middle, and that's another 1st down. Finally brought down by Grant Lumpkin, who hustled from his defensive end position. All right, 1st 10. Oh, we've got a touchdown. That is Lamont Hall wide open in the center of the field on the post. And somehow Blake Clark doesn't drop. And that's an easy touchdown. Ball State's going on a rampage. 2 possessions, both very quick, both resulting in touchdowns in this half. And once again, they're within 3. So Carter's going to take this one at the 2. And we'll see what Eastern Michigan can do with this one. Tolbert lines up under center. Here's a fake. And he's got a man in his face, but he finds Anthony Gillette for another big play. So the senior is really showing up. And Tolbert already has 235 yards passing. Dowdell with the fake. And Tolbert breaks the sack. Finds Guidry. And that's a huge play. So Jared Tolbert is able to break this sack, keep his composure, and find his man. A great play by Jared Tolbert. Tolbert rolling out, and he's got Jonathan Slater on the crossing route. That's another 1st down, and Eastern Michigan is rolling now. So 1st and goal. Flag on the play. Dowdell comes in, tries to hurdle and gets hit. And let's see what the penalty is. We've got an offsides, and they'll get another crack at it. Wally Harwell jumped. Tolbert's been pretty good about drawing defenders offsides with the hard count. Tolbert back to pass, and he's got another broken sack, and he runs for the goal line to stop just short. So on this drive alone, Tolbert has shrugged off 2 sacks, and they're on the goal line. Dowdell can't make it in, so he's stuffed at the 1. That'll make it 3rd and goal. Tolbert under center, Crum in the backfield, and Tolbert's going to go to Clemens, who makes a move on the linebacker and scores the touchdown. That's fullback Michael Clemens. He's a 60 overall, so he doesn't get involved too often, but here he's available. They don't account for him, and that's a touchdown pass for Jared Tolbert. And now Eastern Michigan runs the lead up to 10. 6 plays, 75 yards, and a touchdown. So, both teams have scored on both of their possessions in the second half. So 10 points were scored combined in the first half, and so far 28 have been scored in the second half. Tale of 2 halves, am I right? All right, Ball State going to try to come back into this game, and that screen pass is batted down by Blake Clark. Fry's going to option out, and he gets it to his running back, but Calvin McIntosh is there to take lead down. 3rd and 10. And here's a pass to Ray Johnson, who's open. Kyle Holly makes the tackle, but he couldn't get there in time to bat it down. 1st and 10. And Fry's got the tight end Derek Morton up the seam for yet another first down. There's Kyle Holly on the tackle, out of position twice. And you have to wonder if it might be time for him to see a little less playing time. There's Dominique Huffman with a nice tackle on Rory Lee. And that'll make it 2nd and 10. There's a quick pass, and it's knocked loose by Bernard Washington. So 3rd and 10. Out of the shotgun, here's a running play. Surprising call there. Dominique Huffman tackles. And they'll settle for a field goal from 47 yards. Kicker's already missed once. But this one looks to be true. And now Ball State pulls to within a touchdown. Brandon Smith kicks it off to Brian Carter. Carter gets a little bit of a return, and time's ticking down in the 3rd quarter. Tolbert hands to Dowdell, and he runs behind a Jonathan Browning uncredited pancake block, I'm sure. And that brings us to the end of the 3rd quarter, where the scoring exploded, and Eastern Michigan is up by 7. Tolbert to pass, and Gillette cannot hold on to that one. 3rd and 6. Tolbert drifting and drifts into that sack, not giving his left tackle a lot of help there from the quarterback position. Stephen Higgins will come on to punt on 4th and 16. Daniel Finley on the return, gets a little room, but we have Bernard Washington making the tackle. 1st and 10 from the shotgun. Kevin Fry with lots and lots of time. He throws it up, and Brian Carter is there, and he can't hold on to the interception. He gets the user swat, which is sort of a backhanded compliment. And here's Rory Lee finding some room before he's tackled by Kyle Holly. Short of the sticks, but it's 3rd and inches. And Fry hits the screen pass, and no one's going to get him. That's Ray Johnson. He's gone. Touchdown. So perfect call in that. They were selling out on the run. Here comes this, and boom. Ray Johnson, wide open, touchdown. So the scoring explosion continues for the Ball State Cardinals here in the second half, and they have come all the way back and tied this game with less than 4 minutes in the 4th quarter. Brian Carter gets under it about the 8-yard line, and he's got a little bit of a lane, a nice return, probably the best of his season. And we're starting about the 41-yard line. Here's Dowdell with plenty of room up the middle, bobbing and weaving through traffic, and he's got a first down. And if they want to stop this scoring explosion, one way is to possess the ball. So we'll see if Dowdell figures more prominently here in the second half. Dowdell, again, he's got blockers, and we've got another great run. 2 10-plus yard runs in a row, and Dowdell is up to 56 yards and a touchdown on the day. 1st and 10. Tolbert drawing the defense off sides. Dowdell can't do anything with it, but they'll get 5 free yards.
Offsides, home defense.
That's John Smith, not to be confused with our senior free safety who graduated last year, John Smith, and now is replaced by Kyle Holly, who sucks. Tolbert on the screen to Gillette. Now Gillette's got running room. That's number 70 out in front, leading the way for a touchdown. You'll love to see the center, Quentin Cunningham, roaring down the field. So Anthony Gillette has his second touchdown of the game, and he was featured in the pregame, and you can see why now. 2 touchdowns on the day, and Ball State had tied it up, but Eastern Michigan storms back, and first half was full of defense. Second half, no defense to be found anywhere. So Eastern Michigan goes up 31-24, 3:14 left in the game. Seems like an eternity. All right, kick is returned, and Ball State will go to work. Fry under pressure, throws the screen, and Roger Dennis is there to take him down. Nice play by the 3-star defensive end. 2nd and 10, and number 10 drops back to pass. Lots of time, but that one is batted down by Dominique Huffman, the defensive tackle, and it falls incomplete. 3rd and 10. Now from the shotgun, Fry has a little bit of pressure that's picked up, but he misses the mark. And Brandon Smith, the kicker and punter, will come on. Down 7, they think they can get the ball back. Carter, who muffed it last time, holds on to this one and gets a couple yards. And now Eastern Michigan, up 7, needs to put this game away. And here's Dowdell with room up the middle. Great block by Quentin Cunningham again on the second level. And that is a huge gain. There's 70. First block, second block. Good job, Quentin Cunningham, the center, number 70. All right, and Blair Guidry loves what his running back is doing there. So 1st and 10, 2:22 left. He gets it again, but Dowdell is wrestled down for just a 1-yard gain this time. Ball State will call a timeout. And it's 2nd and 9. Dowdell gets it again, falls forward. Cardinals use their second timeout. Tolbert's going to pass for it, and he's got Jonathan Slater, who keeps finding openings. And Ball State has to use their final timeout as the Eastern Michigan Eagles get the first down. Fake to the fullback, and we've got a wide open Jonathan Slater, and he goes out of bounds. 6 catches for 112 on the day. Great game for him. 1st and goal, and Dowdell gets it, and he's got a lane. That's his second touchdown of the game, and it looks like Eastern Michigan has finally put this one away, scoring 14 unanswered after Ball State tied it up. With less than 2 minutes left, they're up by 2 touchdowns. We know the defense can be stretched and can be stressed, so they're going to have to buckle down and see if they can get a stop. Kickoff goes to Daniel Finley, and he's tackled by a horde of Eagles. So 1:48 left in the game, down 14. Kevin Fry goes to work, and he's going long, and he's got a man, and that is dropped, it looks like. I can't tell if that bounced off of Kyle Holly or if the receiver just dropped it. That was Juan Bennett. But anyway, they can get the long ball, except this time Kevin Fry is sacked by defensive tackle Russ Reed. He's going to fight through 2 blockers, number 77, and then he's chipped by 66, but he still comes in for the sack. Nice play. We call that guy a high motor player, you know what I'm saying? Motors run in 3rd and 17. They find themselves in good shape here. Morton, in motion. Fry has to pass. He's got time, and he's got a wide open wide receiver. Of course he does. That was Ray Johnson, who's been menacing them all day. Calvin McIntosh made the tackle, and Fry's going to spike it. 2nd and 10. And we have a wide open Ray Johnson again, and he's going to score. They cannot cover Ray Johnson. So they convert 3rd and 17. They spike the ball, and then Ray Johnson just runs by everybody, and he's got a touchdown. And suddenly they're back within 7. And like I said before, this Eastern Michigan defense can be stressed, and you definitely can complete the long ball against them. 54 yards on that play. So with a minute left, Eastern Michigan is up by 7, and here comes the onside kick. Brandon Smith kicks it off, and Jonathan Slater coming through again. What a game he's had today. He recovers the onside kick. And can Eastern Michigan kill 1 minute and hold off Ball State here in Muncie, Indiana? Dowdell gets a little bit of running room up the middle. Picks up 4. That'll make it 2nd and 6. And they'll go conservative and give him the ball again, and he is almost to the marker. 30 seconds left, down to 17-16. Tolbert with the fake to Dowdell, and he's rolling right, and he's got a man. It's who else? Anthony Gillette for his 3rd touchdown of the game, and that's the Keron Day specialty, rubbing it in when the game's already won. We have yet to see him just run out the clock, and opponents in the MAC conference really despise him for that, but he always says, if you want to stop us, then play defense. They don't play defense there, and Eastern Michigan scores 45 points for the 2nd time this season. 3-play, 41-yard drive that took less than a minute. 9 seconds left in the game, and Kyle Allen will kick it off as Eastern Michigan is going to run their record up to 3-4, including 3-0 in conference play. And after starting 0-4, obviously their goal is to win the MAC. And we've got Fry with plenty of time, throws it up into a crowd. Nobody comes down with it, and that, folks, is the game. 45-31. Wouldn't have guessed it after that 10-0 halftime score. So these two teams combined for 10 points in the first half and then 66 points in the second half. So those fans who stuck around got to see Anthony Gillette go 5 for 169 with 3 touchdowns, and Jared Tolbert with 373 yards and 4 touchdowns. Those are season highs. Dowdell with 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. We've got 2 receivers over 100 and Guidry under 100 for the first time in a long time. So you and I both saw a bunch of pancakes, uncredited. And on defense, 2 sacks, both of them by the defensive tackles. And Calvin McIntosh adds another interception to his resume, along with 2 passes defensed. Brian Carter's 2 deflections could have been interceptions. And a big game today for Eastern Michigan. Coming through on the road, we were wondering if they would be effective on the road after playing 4 home games in a row, but they did come to play. Some early rust and mistakes were shaken off quickly in the second half. And if you liked what you saw there, please like and subscribe and see what they do next week. Have a great day, everybody.